Okay, nerds, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we're going to play some Oath of Druids, something a little bit different. This deck has been posting some results in challenges. This sort of old school style teamer, rug control, couple of Oath hits, Miharu style Oath deck. Always pretty fun to play, and we've got some Ren and 6 locks in here, Oko, Narset, Minsc and Booth, a big Planeswalker control package. Your restricted card draw, 4 Oaths, 4 stock ups, 4 Force Will, 2 negations, and then a couple of Law Revealed and a couple of Atraxas to kind of bring the package together. So it's going to be a slow controlling sort of deck. Maybe it's actually slightly more mid-rangey because we've got a billion Planeswalkers here, right? How many is this? This is loads. This is what, 6 Planeswalkers? Um, so maybe it's a bit more mid-rangey where we're going to try and control their lands. Oh, go away, Oath. Great stuff. We're going to try and control their lands with Ren and Strip. We're going to try and control their card draw with Narset, and their permanents don't have text with Oko. And then they can die quickly to Minsc and Boo, Oath of Druids, or Urza Saga. So, interesting stuff going on in the main deck. Pretty classic Miharu style. Then post board, we've got more permission with Mind Breaks and Pyroblasts. Anti-shops with Braids and Ancient Grudge and Null Rods. And then anti-graveyard suite of Triple Soul Guide, One Needle, and the bonus Wasteland Post. So that's going to be the list. We're going to slam this through a league and see how we get on. 2 tap lands in the main over here, Thundering Falls and Hedge Maze, really demonstrates how quickly we plan on going. So I'm looking forward to playing this. Quite a sweet list, and we'll see how we do. I'll see you down there for round 1 of this vintage league. Okay, then. So game 1 was Oath of Druids, and we're up against Justin Gennari's alt account here. So we're going to probably keep this hand. We've got a Force Blue card, we've got Strip Mine, some slow shit, and then at some point we can play a stock up. So I'm going to keep. I'm pretty interested in it. They don't have a Lurus. We don't have lots of protection, but we have got counter your first spell, Strip Mine you, right, which is pretty exciting. They've got a Black Lotus, which we will let go. Maybe it's mono white though, so maybe it's supposed to get countered. No. No, it's a workshop deck. No chance to reveal. 3 mana straight in. Sphere of Resistance. So I can't fight back on the second thing, and it looks like a Prison Shops deck. Do we care about Sphere of Resistance? Probably not. We can probably just let that go and just play Scalding Tarn. And then they've got 4 mana payoff afterwards. So they've got nothing left to do. So I think we just play Scalding Tarn and then ship it. I didn't look how many basics we play, but there's not usually too many basics in these lead lists. They've got 4 cards in hand after their draw step. We've got a Strip Mine for that one. And if they make no plays, then I'll just leave the Scalding Tarn here. If they play like a Crucible, then obviously we'll fetch a land. But we'll just leave the Scalding Tarn in play, so we can't get wasted off of it. And then we'll strip their Saga. And then call it a day for turn 2. So just what I was sort of hoping for out of this list is just doing nothing, really, for the next couple of hours. 4 cards, 7 mana, plays 1 card, or 9 mana. Okay, in they come then. So this is it. It's been the thing we've been waiting for. Oh, 5/6. It's a Mystic Forge. And Mystic Forges typically don't resolve. So we'll fetch up maybe just the Volcanic. So I've got running red sources anyway, so I don't mind if that gets stripped. I've got the Forbidden Orchard, so maybe nothing matters. Maybe I can just get a Tropical Island. They've played an Ancient Tomb, so my land is safe. And then I'll pitch the stock up, I think, rather than the dig through time. They've got 1 mana floating. Was that all just to protect the Lotus, or are they just trying to double spell us? They're just protecting the Lotus. Okay. So we now hit a Mox Emerald. And we'll use the Trop to cast it. Then we'll play Thundering Falls, and it still looks like we've got the Force of Will up, right? Luring Revealed, I don't think I'm too interested in, so I'll get rid of that. And then next turn, I can cast Stock Up. 3 cards on the other side of the table. We're slightly exposed here to something like a Crucible of Worlds. And now they're going for everything by the looks, so maybe it's just a Stonecoil Serpent or something. So Golos, okay. So Golos has made it. We are a 20 land deck, so we should be relatively resilient to this sort of thing. This might just be a Caracas, unless they've already, or an Inventor's Fair. Unless they've already got like Crucible or Fair rolled up. I'd expect Inventor's Fair to get Crucible next turn. And then start rolling from there. But you could also look at Caracas to keep the terrain rolling on Golos. Blah, blah, blah. And then they bog me. So my Digger's dead and we're sad. They've got 1 card in hand. And we're just going to cast Stock Up next turn. They've got more to do. Another Sphere. A Null Rod. Okay, so that kills next turn's Stock Up. We draw a Force of Will. So, land go. This Digger's pretty easy pitch fodder now. Because they played their Rod, they now can't activate their Inventor's Fair. They get the life from it. They get 1 draw step. And they top deck a Wasteland. Which is also not very good for us. They might be considering wasting me. They are. Okay. I wonder if that's better than activating the Fair to get the Crucible out. They might just be happy with Golos doing the heavy lifting here. And historically, this Oath matchup is very favoured for us. Very might be a stretch, but they have to kill with creatures, and at some point we just play an Oath of Druids. This is an interesting decision between which lands to play. So next turn, so I think I want to play the Saga because I want to resolve the Saga as soon as possible. And I'm happy to come off of Stock Up for a couple of turns to resolve this Saga and make some dudes and double block this Golos and that sort of thing. Opponent gains another life. And we've got Force of Will open this turn and next turn as well. Next turn through the privilege of paying 1 either way. But this is probably a bit too strong, so we'll go for this Force here. We'll tap the Saga. Yeah, no, so what I meant is if they don't do anything this turn, then we'll have Force of Will up next turn and be able to make a token. We'd give them a 1-1 in exchange, but I don't think that matters. We're at 11, so we are running low on time here. We draw a Hedge Maze. I'm going to play the Hedge Maze over the Forbidden Orchard. I'll get rid of Force and Negation. Maybe this is supposed to be Orchard Stock Up. As far as we know, this Inventor's Fair is still uncastable, right? And Moxen and Mana Crypts and stuff don't help them. Our opponent's not slowing down though, they just keep on jamming. Patchwork Automaton. Pretty slow, pretty small. Golos is going to ping us to 8. And we'll grab ourselves a token on the end step. And unless we draw Oath, I presume I'm just draw a Wasteland. Yeah, so I'm just going to make another token. Then I'm going to Wasteland their Inventor's Fair. I may want a Force of Will, so let's just get Black Lotus and have it sat in play. I'm going to Wasteland the Inventor's Fair before things get away from us. And And now we can probably just do some attacking actually because these are 4/4, so I can just trade with this Golos. Or like just bounce off this Golos and take one. And then next turn we do genuinely have stock up available. Opponent hasn't yet missed on draw steps. This looks like a stone coil. It's another Golos, okay. So that's going to grow the patchwork. Kill another Golos, maybe get a Caracas or something so they can actually get a chain going. Or they might just go for strip mine because they think they're doing well in that sense. But I think we're... What the fuck is that? Fomori Vault. Discard a card. Look at the top X cards of your library with X number of artifacts you control. Okay. That doesn't seem embarrassing, actually. Gaea's Blessing maybe is embarrassing. I'm just going to cast stock up then. Hold back the nerds. They're going to start tutoring every turn. We get Oath of Druids and Misty Rainforest. I've got both of my Surveils in play already, and I've made a land drop. So I'm just going to relax, chillax, sit back and enjoy the view, and then play an Oath of Druids next turn. So opponent straight in with the activation on Fomori Vault. This is a pretty techie land. This is actually pretty cool. So they're going to discard a Mox Ruby, which is useless because of Null Rod. And they get to look at the top 5 cards of their library and pick one artifact. Is that right? No, you just get one of those cards. Okay, sick. So we don't know what it is. They just get a card. Easy game. We can develop a Sapphire to have some big creatures in play. And play a land and play... I guess I fetch, actually. I guess I fetch. So I don't have to Forbidden Orchard straight away. Let's get another Tropical. And roll out this Oath. And do I want to attack for 10? I don't think so. I think I want to attack for 5 though. And then what, I take 3, 4 on the way back through. And I can still enable Oath of Druids. They're just going to take it. They get a 6. Which means our Atraxa trigger into Time Walk is lethal. And if this is like a big Stone Coil Serpent, then we'll come up with another plan. Crucible of Worlds. Is going to what? Loop Sagas and Wastelands? Does that matter? Don't think that matters. I'm about to put a 7/7 lifelinking flying into play and cast Time Walk for my turn. So yes, they get Urza's Saga, which is also too slow. If Wasteland was too slow, this is too slow. And we've got something else to do though. Play a Sphere of Resistance. I don't think that matters either. So then they can ship both creatures into play. They're completely hellbent. They don't attack me. They don't want to trade their 4/4 for a 1/1 and 4 points of damage sort of thing. And then I've got 2 creatures, they've got 3 creatures. Oath target you. I think this is one of the fundamental things that makes Oath so good into shops. It's just, it's turn 10. I've got loads of mana. I haven't been under any sort of pressure. We've dicked around. We found our Oath of Druids. And now there's a trigger on the stack, which is just going to ruin our opponent. And even if Atraxa is my bottom card, I play 2 of them. So there's going to be one above that, just due to how deck sequencing must work. So this is an Atraxa. It wasn't that deep. Time Walk's still in the deck. There it is. So we win. Time Walk, and then nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It's Oath as well, I think. So let's say Dunzo. Draw step. Scalding Tarn. Tap 4 lands, I guess, because of how many spheres they opted to play. And that's game 1. Perfect. They agree that they're dead. So what do we want to play? Definitely Abrades and Ancient Grudges. We can probably make use of a Needle. I'm not sure if Vexing Ball was particularly interesting to us. And I imagine that these 2 Pyroblasts are pretty weak in the deck with no coloured spells. Specifically no blue spells either. 2 reasons why. Now I've got 2 more cuts to make on the way through here. I like all my lands. I actually might like another one. So that's going to make it 3 cuts. Missteps made better by the presence of Urza's Saga and Grafdigger's Cage. Nullrod's not particularly exciting. I wonder how we're supposed to feel about these mid-range threats through here. Narset's not very good. Renin 6 is obviously fantastic for us. I think I'll pitch Narset as one of the cuts. I'm not too fussed about my Mindbreak Trap. Ancestral Brainstorm, Git Probe. Probe can go, because we don't actually mind what's in their hand half the time. It's just how locked and how efficient we are at getting out of the lock after turns 1 and 2. They bogged us, but is Bog going to remain in their deck? I guess Dig Through Time's still good. We're not the best Dig Through Time deck in the world, but I think I want to cut it. Lorien revealed fantastic against Crucible Wasteland. Same as Renin 6. Oko, Minsk and Boo. Maybe Minsk and Boo can go. Let's try that. So now it's just like 4 shatters, 1 needle, 1 wasteland, right? So, but 2 of those shatters are double shatters. So this hand looks pretty sweet. We've got the mana to build out. We've got an Abrade, we've got a Renin 6. I don't want to yield, so I want them to at least think about cards. So wasteland to lead. So I'll probably just show them my hedge maze and let them enjoy themselves. Mox Ruby, best drawer in the deck. Mox Jet, not quite. Okay. So we'll cast Mox Jet. And I guess we play Hedge Maze. Yeah, I'm going to feed them a Hedge Maze. I'm not going to roll out the Oath, because I think they're holding... Oh, the Hedge Maze was bad. I should have cycled first. Never mind, I'll pick up that Strip Mine and then we'll cycle later. I guess they're holding Grafdigger's Cage, because this is not an acceptable start to a game of Magic from workshops. Sphere of Resistance is absolutely fine. Actively love to see it. So, where do we stand on the Strip Mine U? I think it sounds fantastic, to be honest with you. Oh, maybe I hate it. Maybe I much preferred Cycle Resolve Ren. But my interest in Strip Mine U is just... They've played 2 slow lands. I've got a Lorien. I've got a Renin 6. Mishra's Workshops makes me slightly more upset than I needed to be. This looks like it could just be a patchwork. It's a null rod. Okay. So we'll cycle. We'll grab a Volcanic. They must have just drawn that this turn, right? Because otherwise you would try and drop those sooner. That workshop, I mean. 2 Wastelands gone. I'm going to play the Volcanic that they know about and then be stressed. I don't like how I've played this. If I'm concerned after drawing 4 lands, I'm not sure if I like how I played. Maybe last turn was supposed to just be Volcanic deploy Ren. Because now I'm really far away from Ren and 6, right? Yeah, I think that was better. There's a Saga is in. And if this is a Crucible, then I might just be cold. And I'll only have myself to blame. It's a Grafdigger's Cage, which is acceptable. But we do have to fade Crucible and Wasteland this turn. And draw a spell. Draw a land, sorry. So what they've got? They've got 3 or 4 Crucibles. I should have a Ren and 6 in play, really, shouldn't I? Let's be real with ourselves. That's a Caracas. And then this is a 3-drop. Trinisphere, sure. Trinisphere's fine. Dig Through Time is an issue. And now I'm in trouble, right, because of the way I've played this. It should have been deploy resource that cements late game. The Saga hasn't killed us, which is very good news. I don't know what comes out of a... It's just another cage. Okay. We've got other ways of winning. We're not too locked in. Vexing Bauble. They're just spinning their wheels at this point. A Braid. It's, do I draw a land or do they draw something that deals damage, I think, is the big thing. Or a Crucible or another strip. So 4 mana is the stressful amount of mana for us. And it's just a scrolling crawler. Which is fantastic news. I draw a Ren and 6. We draw in their upkeep, and we now hit a land, so we need to just dodge Strip Mine off of these 2 draws from the opponent. They find exactly Strip Mine. Pretty toxic. And then if this is Crucible, then I think I am dead, actually. Stonecourt Serpent, okay. So we can maybe clear this mess up if we can kill them fast, kill the creatures fast enough. So I go to 14. I might be a bit slow. Yeah, so we did... the royal we. I did mess this up. With that turn where I could have played Ren and 6. And didn't, and they just hit a wasteland. So that actually kills us. So let's leave. Go to the next game and try and just think a bit better. Because that was all in hand, right? That was not... I played Strip Mine and stripped their Saga. Or whatever I stripped, not their Saga. Stripped one of their wastelands. When I think I could just deployed Ren and 6 and then had the Ren and 6 in play for the rest of the game. And at that point, I can't lose that game. On the play, I'll bring this Vexing Bauble back in. I think we'll wave goodbye to something else. Do I need full Moxen? I am a stock-up deck. I think I still like the Misstep. But maybe with the Infinite Braids, I don't need it so much. I think Misstep's got more text than Vexing Bauble, to be honest. So maybe I'm happy with how I was. And that was a defeat by our own making. There was a lot of turns there where our opponent didn't really do anything, including turn 1. And we weren't able to maximize any element of it. What's the likelihood of them having Mindbreak Trap in their deck here, then? So I would like to leave a blue floating off of this Black Lotus, but I don't want to get my stock up trapped. But if they got Mindbreak Trap, they got Mindbreak Trap. I can't imagine they'd have Mindbreak Trap. I'm going to take Oath of Druids, Forbidden Orchard. And we're going to cheese this game. Your go. We've even got the Misstep to cover the cage. Opponent's got a Mock Sapphire, a Grafdigger's Cage. Do you have land Grafdigger's Cage to go with it? Workshop. Into Stonecore Serpent. Okay. Opponent dinks us for one. We go get an Atraxa. So we've got two Ancient Grudges that can just deal with this Stone Coil quite comfortably. One thing I think is very interesting there from the Oath of Druids side, I wonder if you're supposed to no, you can't be supposed to test the Stone Coil or Misstep. That's just me thinking about the cards I've got. Right, so we want to resolve this in a way where we find Time Walk. Time Walk's in our graveyard, so I'm going to resolve the Atraxa trigger after the Gaia's Blessing trigger. So I get to reshuffle this shit and have 10 looks at Time Walk. Didn't get there, but we did find Wrenn and 6, Scalding Tarn, Force of Will. Oh no, we didn't. We found Ancient Grudge. I was lying to you all. Just 4 card types is a shame. That's good, right? That's fine. And they concede the match. They see the Ancient Grudge, and they're done with it. So, game 1 was, I think, classic Oath versus Shops. We had a lot of mana, and then eventually they died. And then game 2, I played poorly and we lost. So, you know, play shit and die. And then game 3, pretty nice comborific stuff, really. Let's see for round 2. Okay, then round 2. We're up against OD402, who's quickly becoming the co-host of this channel. With how frequently I've played them in the weekday afternoon slot. So, if we assume Dredge, then our hand is shit. We have one main deck Soul Guide, I think. We're on the wrong screen. We got 0 main deck Soul Guide, so we just need a fast Oath of Druids or some Wastelands. We have got Vexing Bauble though, so that could be useful. So, but we're going to assume Dredge, and we're going to take a mulligan. We've got a fast Oath and it's protected. I don't think we can ask for much more. We're on the play as well. They are on Dredge. So we'll keep this. And we'll send Volcanic. We'll just lead Lotus Oath, I think. Oh, the opponent's still going. Rip them. That was a powder for 6, to be honest. So one Force of Will's gone. But they still got 3 negations. Another powder. They're down to 4 cards, so they're in the territory now where we're getting rid of permission in their stack, maybe. Oh, they're down to 2. Okay, so my 3-land player Narset was actually going to be good. They begin the game with 2 cards in hand. One's Bazaar of Baghdad. We've got completely free reign to do what we want. And what we want will be cast a Black Lotus, cast an Oath of Druids, play a Forbidden Orchard, and pass. I'm not brainstorming. I don't need to run headfirst into this like random vigor. Maybe I should just be brainstorming. They're so fucking dead, aren't they? Okay, so maybe that was a bit weak, but who cares? We're gonna get an Atraxa. They can't do anything. They've got Bazaar of Baghdad. They can go on the old up and down, but they can see that they're dead on board. So even when winning, we find a way to sequence poorly, which is, you know, what's going to happen when you pick up different decks for a change. And I would like a red mana. No response. Ding, ding, ding. Trigger, target you. Nothing sweet, nothing spicy, just an Atraxa. Crunch. Now we get some cards. We get the Vexing Bauble, we get the Strip Mine. We get the old Minsc and Boo, I guess. I'm so far away from casting Minsc and Boo. Let's just grab Brennan 6. And they're already dead anyway, it doesn't matter. So, done. Draw step. And they have had enough. Okay. So now we do get the sideboard package. And it's pretty tasty. So we get these 5 for sure. Do we want Ancient Grudge for those hollow ones? Those pesky hollow ones that can be good? Maybe 1's fine. And then if we cut the Pyroblasts, I like the Misstep. I don't care too much about Minsc and Boo or Narset. I don't care much about Oko either. And then Probe's the next weakest card, right? They are one of those decks where we kind of just know what they're holding. Or the range is so capped, we can at least consider how to play around things. Yeah, let's drop Probe. And I'm having a Probe in instead of an Ancient Grudge. I put an Ancient Grudge in instead of a Probe. Maybe that could be the other way around. Maybe I don't need answers. But this is a hand of cards. So we will lead on, I assume, Boseiju Soul Guide. We have got double Wasteland. So opponent keeps on 6 this time and has a Chalice of the Void for 0. So that gets rid of my slower starts, or my faster starts, sorry. And then I've got their wrong zone open. Have I? Yeah, I'm just stupid. So, Grave Troll. Shambling Shell, Shambling Shell. Do we want a Wasteland? Do we want to Soul Guide them? I'd like to draw a Misstep. Force of Will. I'm going to Wasteland them first. So I think this Soul Guide needs protecting. They've immediately got the Noxious. So next time we might have to hit a blue card. They'll redeploy the Bazaar of Baghdad. And then if we draw problem is Bazaar's so good. Why are we passing, dude? Just passes the turn. Just loves, absolutely loves what they're holding. Why did we pass the turn? Wants to play with Force of Will available. Doesn't want to play into another Wasteland. So they want to get a Dredge 6 in next turn. So they're just holding Force blue card. That's just exactly what they're holding. So that means I would like to slow roll my Soul Guide Lantern. Right? They've said I'm not activating Bazaar even if I play it. Until this turn, once they've dredged 6 off this Grave Troll. They hit a Narc, they hit an Icarid, they hit an Amalgam. Now they'll play Bazaar of Baghdad, and that will leave them with 2 cards in hand, which is exactly Force blue card. They said no to Narc Amoebas. That's interesting as well. So they're not happy with their ability to kill off of 1 Amalgam. This Narc might come in, because that's 2 Amalgams then, and an Icarid. No, they say no again. They're trying to build the graveyard. But now we can overload this Force of Will, right? Quite comfortably. With Wasteland Plus, and just a fucking Force of Will of our own. So, how to play. I guess we just play Oath of Druids, because I'm going to give them a token. And we've waited long enough to make sure that we beat their Force of Will, which they told us they're holding. And if they don't Force of Will here, there we go. Force of Negation pitching Narcomoeba. So that Bazaar of Baghdad play just revealed their entire hand. And we get to resolve the oath, resolve the creature. And now it's up to them how they go from there. We're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 15. And then they've got 4 Creeping Chills in their deck, usually, typically, historically. And then we get an Atraxa. So we can go to 3. They might just yeet everything into play, yeah. So they can go to 3, and then maybe they can attack round an Atraxa in a minute. Maybe, but the problem is that they're going to have no permanents in play at the end of our next turn, even if we miss on Time Walk. So in we come, down to 12, 15 and the chill, and then they've got 22 cards left, 9 points of damage in there. And they have got triple Icarid, triple amalgam, quadruple amalgam, there's 1 remaining. But the absence of any cards in play is going to be a real problem for their winning chances after that. So, Atraxa lands. My Time Walk is in the bin. Oh, but I didn't hit the old bloke. So, I'll take Ancestral, Soul Guide, Stock Up, Volcanic. Yeah, they're dead. So that was good. That was good. And it was nice to be able to work out what they're holding and play around that. And not just throw our Soul Guide Lantern into them. Maybe that would have been an acceptable thing to do. But that's not what we did. So, see you for round 3. Okay, round 4. No, 3. We're up against turn 4 Terrastodon, which is, I don't know, it seems like a perfectly acceptable time to play a Terrastodon. Nothing good, nothing bad. We're on the draw. We've got a Force of Will pitching Atraxa, and then we can walk into an extra Saga token or a stock up at some point as well. So we will keep our 7. And then see what Oppo does. Looks like more workshops, actually. No Chancellor. There's a Vexing Bauble. Do I just have to say yes to Vexing Bauble, or do I presume... I mean, I'm not using this Force of Will another time, am I? Although... I don't think my life total changed. No, it hasn't. Cool. I could fight this. I think I will, because there's a chance I can just draw another Force of Will or a Force of Negation, right? My opponent has a Mana Vault. Not great. So is it Dual Shops instead? Or do all shops decks play Mana Vaults? Oh, it's Raker shops. Interesting stuff. So the Mana Vault untaps off of Tezzeret. What do I pitch? Atraxa. Do they play main deck Cage? I think they could do. Maybe a Needle. But the Mana Vault gets untapped by Tezzeret, which means our Wasteland to keep them on 1 mana isn't very good. They get Sensei's top. And now we're in trouble. Saga? I think Saga to cycle to get Volcanic to walk into stock up. Or maybe I want to Saga. Huh. I don't know, it seemed better than the other lands. We could die very quickly here. They've got the mana to play double, or to play Flesh Raker top. This is 4 mana. So that's a Flesh Raker. Cheeky look over here. Yeah. And we are dying soon because Tezzeret Tutor happens after the next artifact. So Vexing Bauble clearing a path. And then us just being remarkably slow. It wasn't turn 4 Terrastodon ads advertised, it was just turn 3 kill. Could be turn 2 kill, they're still going. You've got more to do. Chalice on 0. Okay. Picks up a Tezzeret, there's a top on top. So we die next turn. They then untap the Mana Vault and then pass. So I'm not sure how we win from here. Seeing as next turn they're gonna double top us. We just top deck Misstep. Just completely raw dog the Misstep, I guess, is gonna be the thing. Pyroblasts don't do much. Get Tropical Island because Boseiju might help. And I might here have to walk into this stock up actually to fight this double top turn. Maybe I've not used my Time Walk very well or my Saga very well. This Saga could have just been a wasteland up until this point where I go and get Black Lotus. Right. Pyroblast is bad. Absolutely not what we needed. But we can go and get Black Lotus. I guess play a wasteland. And then cast stock up. We need to find like none of that shit. So let's take stock up Emerald. So we can stock up again here. Oh. That can also happen. Clever me. Alright, so we can stock up and miss on everything. I think that just kills us, right? Yeah, cool. So they've got Flesh Raker, they've got a top on top, and next turn they can -3 Tezzeret, get a top, and we die. So, Flesh Raker shops. I guess I'm interested in the Needle. I guess I'm interested in the Abrades, and probably the Ancient Grudges. I don't want Pyroblast. I don't really want Minsk and Boo. I'm interested in Narsex. That does actually interact with their combo kill, right? As long as it's not Mystic Forge. So Narset's interesting. The negations are good. The misstep is good. The probe is probably good at defining a path for us forwards. Maybe a Lorien can go. Maybe a Ren and 6 can go. Maybe we're less about the Ren and 6 life. Is that true though? I think so. I think many of the activated abilities that this deck's playing are coming out of artifacts. That's why I've not bought the rods in. I'm going to mulligan this hand. It's got the misstep for a top, but we can go pretty quick here. So that's nice. So let's go put Atraxa on the bottom. And then we'll just play maybe this Wasteland, Vexing Bauble. No, let's get a Volcanic Island and cast Vexing Bauble. So that's going to kill all the Moxen that our opponent could have. And then we've got Oath of Druids at some point. So Mishra's Workshop, Grim Monolith, Manifold Key, and the ultimate payoff of the One Ring. Okay, that is pretty good payoff actually. Now that it's here, that is a pretty good payoff. So we can through that all of that through a vexing bubble. Look, so I killed all your mocks and actually meant nothing. Right, so we could wasteland them. That would be an interesting way to go. I think I'd rather just resolve my Oath of Druids. And then it's up to you to come up with something to do. They've got the One Ring. More One Rings are good. The cage is covered. But we don't need to go upkeep unless they present a threat. If they don't come up with a good land here, then our wasteland will land. And it will be very powerful. So 3 mana artifact. Or artifact mana. 3 artifact mana. Second workshop to make 6 artifact mana. And that makes another One Ring. So we don't need to do much on our turn. So opponent is going to draw some more cards. They still just got that 2 artifact mana floating. But they are not very good at activating artifacts at the moment. Maybe the One Ring is a reason to have Rod. Chalice of the Void on 1. Interesting. What does that do? Well, I'm going to wasteland a workshop. And pass the turn. We have got Ancient Grudge up here. Everyone's supposed to chill on the land activation, because now I don't have Ancient Grudge. So I can't like Ancient Grudge and a Time Vault like this, and Ancient Grudge the cage in play. We'll grudge your Time Vault. So now that Oath isn't really doing anything. So maybe a misstep here that's going to cost us a match is using that wasteland very quickly and very proactively. I'm still just going to wasteland them again though. I don't know. I can cycle this Time Vault later. This Vexing Bauble later. This is the classic Oath thing of just not really having many cards to draw though. Yeah, so activating our first wasteland was definitely a mistake. With the way this has gone. Because we didn't play for that eventuality of they play something I have to grudge, and now my grudge is stranded. It could have just been volcanic. Grudge your cage, grudge your Time Vault. And now both my problems are gone. And now they've got a lot of mana. So Rod was supposed to come in. Just looking at how this is played, absolutely Rod was supposed to come in. I didn't cycle my Vexing Bauble there. And they're going to get a card which is going to be problematic for us. This Chalice is interesting though, because that means they're not trying to combo us at all. They're going for a Lattice, wow. Can they jam it now? No. So I've got to look at an Abrade here. Just absolutely blow this game open. They discard Black Lotus. And I just rip the Abrade from the top rope. So we know that our opponent is going to go for a lattice here. They've got an amount of mana, I can't count that high. Looks to me like they've only got 4 mana though. They draw 4 cards. So how's this going to go? They're going to try and jam a lattice down our throat at some point. We have to kill the cage on the way through. Oh, they're going to get rid of top. They can get rid of Chalice on 1. And then they untap Grim Monolith. This makes a Glaring Flesh Raker. And my Braid is counterfeited by something else. Oh no, maybe not. 3 more mana. Flesh Raker again. So they've got 1 billion mana. They're now producing mana on spells, right? I may not survive the turn here. Sensei's Divining Top is a lot of damage. Yeah, I think I'm just going to die. Why is there so many triggers? Leave me alone. Now they've got an Expedition map, which is going to be a lot of damage and a lot of mana. They've got 4 mana over here on tokens. They take a look with a Sensei's Top. If we can smuggle one attack in with Atraxa, then they do just die to their Wandering. But I sideboarded poorly. I've made bad choices with my land activation. And it looks like we're going to get maximally punished for it. 1, 2, 3. Another Flesh Raker. Puts me to 3. Puts me to 1. And then they need 1 spell for 2 mana. They can also go and get an Academy with this 2 mana to then have 40 mana. So we're just dead. Perfect. Well played. I think we fucked that up a lot. And they got the ring as well, so my Oath trigger doesn't work. I think I fucked that up a lot. Never mind. We'll go to a new round. Okay, next round. We're up against Tarzan of the Jungle. We are on the play with a bit of a spicy nugget here. We've got Force of Will behind. Do we want a Force of Will to force this Vexing Bauble through? Or do we want to just probe them and then play Vexing Bauble and die? I guess if you phrase it that way, then it makes it sound like just, Wasteland Vexing Bauble is really good. And then we don't die, was the thing. But I kind of want to deploy... a coloured source for my Wrenn and 6. So let's play a Wasteland then. And I'm just going to play the Vexing Bauble. And probably just not fight over the Vexing Bauble. Unless they pitch something like a Narcomoeba, right? That's going to be what they pitch will inform whether we fight back. They've started the game with 7 cards in hand. We don't know what they are because we didn't cast Probe. If I had another blue card, I'd obviously snap this Probe off, but... I'm pretty happy as it is. And Wasteland is going to make them fetch a basic, because they're going to take game actions, and then we can just strip them. And at some point we'll play a red and 6 in the distant future. So opponent immediately pondering for quite a while. They were pretty snappy at the start of the game. Now we've got a force of will, but pitching sink into stupor. Okay, so that's interesting, right? So that means we're up against dual shops, a famously poor matchup for Oath of Druids. We've not resolved anything. We've played a Wasteland, and they've said, I don't want this Vexing Bauble to resolve, which I guess means I want this Vexing Bauble to resolve, right? I guess that's the logic we've got to use. I will protect the Vexing Bauble. Because I know I'm going to restrict them on mana on 2 avenues now, right? The Vexing Bauble itself, and the double Wasteland that's about to end their career. So, opponent has to play this land carefully around Wasteland. Then we get to fetch up a tap land, and then we get to strip mine them and pray. I think that's like the way the next few turns are going to go. But that was Force Your Vexing Bauble announcing I've got lots of mana to play, pitching a land in front of a Wasteland. So they're announcing as well that they've got lots of lands and they're not worried about the Wasteland. So maybe their Force of Will was like a use it or lose it type thing, because they're losing the strip, or they're losing the land, or they're losing the force. But Wasteland, Vexing Bauble should keep dual shops at bay for a moment or two. I don't know if Wasteland Lock will keep them at bay. That's a completely different story. They've still got, 4 Grim Monoliths and some Mana Vaults to mess around with. And it's how do you sequence your other 6 cards our opponent has to think about here. So they've got a Saga, I've got a Wasteland. And they know I've got a Wasteland, so they really are just sacrificing that as a Saga to the Wasteland. We can then fetch up a Hedge Maze, the Surveil Tropical Island, Ancient Tomb, and pass. And we are absolutely just stripping that Ancient Tomb, right? We've taken 1, 2, 3 bits of mana off of them so far this game. So Hedge Maze, plus whatever's in there, hand, right? Strip mine your Ancient Tomb. Like 3 bits of mana in terms of Sink into Stupor, Ancient Tomb, Urza's Saga. All gone. And stranded an unknown number of Moxen, but enough for them to say I want to Force of Will that. It's an Academy on 0. Red source? No, just a Oath of Druids. Which I will play. I'm not doing anything else. I can't cast spells. It's just play out an Oath and get to digging. That's a really, really dangerous red source. I don't buy that that's an acceptable red source for us to play. So I'm not going to sacrifice my bauble to try and develop a Ren and 6 when I think my bauble's doing a lot more work. Okay, so Island Sol Ring. Their academy is now on Trinosphere. Interesting. Minsk and Boo. Imagine if I played my red source. I did need to sacrifice that on the end step, didn't I? Because now they're just doing all of this shit. And we're losing. So Trinosphere gets them around the Vexing Bauble, so the Vexing Bauble needs to go. Now I've got a Pyroblast, which I can't cast. That's a Lorien Revealed. Which can just get Thundering Falls, because it's coming into play tapped anyway. Because it's not going to produce mana this turn anyway, because of Trinosphere. Brainstorm, I think, is going to be too slow. Our opponent is out of it now, right? They've got 1 billion mana. They're deploying more mana. Oh, now I've turned on their PO, though, by getting rid of the Vexing Bauble. Yeah, cool. So I missed a mana when I didn't sacrifice my Vexing Bauble to the end step on Trinisphere. They've been through their Urza's Sagas. What's their other kill condition? Khan for Worm Coils? I guess so. And then Metamorph copying Atraxa. So there's the PO. So there's the case where Volcanic Island is better, because now I could beat their blue spells. But I think now we're just going to be watching someone else combo off again. So what went from a fabulous start turned into pretty poor sideboarding against Raker shops. So I just didn't think about the One Ring, because I just died to Tezzeret and Glaring Fresh Raker. But the no rods have to be in the deck. That was just ludicrous. That was just ludicrous. And then now we play against this opponent where I've strip mined them 1 billion times, and then they've played a Naked Academy and killed me. So unfortunate. They're just chaining Metamorphs now. And I think we're past the point in the game where Wrenn and 6 Wasteland is going to massively play a role. My opponent has 9, 11, 12, 13, 14 other mana available to them each turn. This is a Tinker. Which gets another coveted jewel. Right, I've had enough. I am done with this game. Let's play a new one. Let's bring in these. Do we want like a braids and grudges and stuff? I guess so. What are they good against though? Just Cage? I guess with Rod, Wrenn and 6 becomes good. Narset seems great. This seems far too mid-rangey. Brainstorm Stress from Mr. Probe. Vexing Bauble. And I feel like I'm pitching more spells than them. I'm going to cut a Lorien. Do I want these Grudges and Pyroblasts? Pyroblasts don't seem very good. And I'm just going to cut this Vexing Bauble. Because I've got the rods instead. The Vexing Bauble is very good on the play though, isn't it? Oh, it's too late now. So we'll say yes. And we've got a nicely protected bunch of cards here. Opponent also keeps 7. I'm going to play Black Lotus. And then play a Ruby. Tap my Ruby. Cast Stock Up. And we get what? What do we get from this? Tropical Island. Brainstorm. And then we play a Rod. And the Rod's in. Okay. Nice stuff to start with. Ouch. Springs. Tapped. back to me. Tropical Island. Seems good. So we can brainstorm plus Lorien if we want to. The Talon Gates are in here as well, the whole squad. An empty Mox. Looks like they're building up towards a Tinker. I am going to brainstorm. I'm going to put back... I think just like... What? Force of Negation... Forbidden Orchard? Then maybe I actually want to draw this Orchard. And then cycle. And get a tapped red source. I think that's fine. The holding for Force of Negation seems really good, right? Because it's one that I can just tap my lands and play. I'll keep stock up on top, that's for sure. Okay. So they are underneath a rod. But we are just like dicking around and moving random cards around random game zones to not much progress. The progress is I've got like a Highland Lake in play. And that's it. Stock up should push us forwards though. There's a nice bump in card quality as well as quantity. And our opponent needs to come up with something. I'll definitely snap off Force of Will on the One Ring here. And then hope that my stock up finds me another blue card and go from there. So this is a Mishra's Workshop. Just a pass of the turn. Okay. I think they're holding a Tinker, because I think there's a reason why you just roll out the Mox Jet. Otherwise. I'll say Force of Will, and they pitch PO. Do I want to force back? I think so. I think I am interested in forcing back. I'll pitch the Misstep, because I'm willing to get just like a random blue card off of this. I get Besage, I get Oko Wasteland. So I'm going to take Oko. I'm going to take Wasteland. I'm going to strip mine your Mishra's Workshop. And then next turn we can cast Oko. They've got Tolarian Academy. Black Lotus. And then 4 mana. There's a fairly small PO for 2, and I think Oko is how I'm going to do some killing this game, so I'm just going to let them have that PO for 2. It's just a really like organic and normal inspiration, seeing as the cards that they picked up and the cards that they draw don't do anything. They get to redeploy a bunch of stuff to keep their academy going. I get a negation. So I'll cast Oko and wake up my Ruby. I think that's now just the game plan. Let's just kill them with an Oko. If I can get another blue card next turn and not get attacked too hard this turn. Tezzeret Cruel Captain. What's that going to tutor up? Portable Hole? What else kills a Null Rod? I don't know. I don't see a need for this to resolve though. Could get a needle to kill my Oko. I'm now hellbent, and they've got a time walk. Okay. 2 cards in hand though isn't too many. And then what are we gonna do after that? Just make a food and pray? I think so. Make a food, top deck a land, hopefully a wasteland. Kill this academy and then put their mana back 15 years. Another Tezzeret. Tutors a needle. Needle ruins our Oko plan, but we can kill Tez with Ruby. And then after that, I don't have any good suggestions. It depends on what we draw. They find a mana vault. Okay, interesting. So I mean they've got a really clean and simple answer to Null Rod then. Make a food. Kill Tezzeret. I've only got 4 mana available. I'd like just any card basically. Any non-Ren and 6 Minsk and Boo card would be fantastic to peel off the top. And I think it has to be at that point a blue card or a land for this Force of Will. Not getting Needle's very interesting. That card's very powerful. Let's attack him for 6. Attack you, and then we just strip mine, right? I don't think strip mine is... Then what if they PO in response to my strip activation? So I guess we just play it and pass. I've only got 2 cards in hand. One of them's got to be bad. And then we can strip mine next turn. This does telegraph that I'm holding Force of Will. Sink into stupor your Null Rod. Do you have a response to that? No. Do you have a second sink into stupor? That would be the 3rd one this game. So no is the answer, and we've got now a tapped academy. And we can play an Oath of Druids. And they concede the game. Do I want the Wasteland to go with this Null Rod plan? Do I want more Okos to go with this Null Rod plan if I'm trying to mid-range them slightly harder? Because that seemed really effective. Tenuous, but effective nonetheless. Do I want Pyroblast to protect my Rod with? Do I want Needle to fight that Tezzeret? I'm interested in Wasteland over Saga. I don't think I'm going to win through Sagas. I'm tempted by this Oko, though. I don't know over what. Can I go over an Oath of Druids? Is that just purely insane? Completely insane? Maybe Ren and 6. But Ren and 6 waste under the rod is really good, but that all requires me to have a rod, so maybe I'm not a Ren and 6 game. But then I've just bought in a Wasteland, so I want more Ren and 6s. I'm not sure. Having more than 4 lands kind of just throws me through a loop. Okay, game 3 against Dual Shops, and I don't think this is the ticket, right? Wasteland, counter spell, Wasteland you, Wasteland you. I feel like they're better at getting around that than we are. Now we've got counter your spell and die. But I'm at 6 cards, so maybe I have to consider Beseiju as a spell. And keep it and ship a Tropical Island. Don't love it. Actually, frankly hate it. Time Vault. Very well. Mana Vault. Very well. I've got this Beseiju that I can convert into a disenchant if I need to. Second stock up's very nice, because that means we've got a negation on deck. And opponent has got 6 mana, 4 cards. We've got a negation, and we've got the disenchant with Beseiju, which is why I didn't negate the Time Vault previously. They're playing out a Mana Crypt and a Tolarian Academy, which taxes my Beseiju quite a lot. Also, this is protected with a hard cast Force of Will. We'll make them tap their Academy then. If it's just a sink into stupor, then we'll just negate it again. The way this is played, I assume it's just hardcast Force of Will resolving a coveted jewel. It's sink into stupor. Okay. Well, I'm just going to negate you again. They've got 1 card in hand. And I can go get Hedge Maze on end step. It's another stock up, which is a pretty sweaty stock up. If their last card is Needle, we lose, but I am going to roll out this stock up. We get Mindbreak Trap, Wasteland, Mox Pearl. I'll take Mindbreak Trap and Wasteland. I'm not excited about this next turn cycle because it could just be the end of the game. Maybe I'm supposed to wait, but I still don't think that's very good either. I think I have to push. I could have fetched Trop and just, said I'm casting a stock up. I don't have the mana. I don't think I knew I was casting a stock up, right? So 5 mana now. Generates a 1 ring. 1 ring triggers. They draw some cards. 4. There's a Tezzeret Cruel Captain. This will get a Manifold Key, and the Manifold Key will get trapped. Oh, no, it doesn't. They just fucking kill me. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we do just die. I forgot about the Tezzeret combo. So we do lose to the Time Vault that we let resolve and discussed Beseiju on for a turn cycle. And they even had the island, so the Beseiju was just cracked. But we're dead. Okay then. Cool stuff. On to the final round. Okie dokie. So, round 5. We're on the draw up against Mr. Steel Yo Girl. Which is, I don't know, dude. We're fucking playing Magic Online. You have got nothing to steal. I've already pressed keep. We're keeping the turn 2 stock up hand. I think we're gaming. Yeah, just waiting for our opponent to decide on what they're doing. Okay, so they keep. We keep. We've got a wasteland if they're dredging. There's no Lurus. 5 matches, no Lurus. The world is healing. 6 cards. For the opponent, I thought they had 7 a moment ago. Mox Emerald, fabulous news. Mox Pearl, yeah. Cavern of Souls, mono white. The order of the day. And then how do we play? Are we supposed to like? Looks like a peacekeeper though. Yeah, anointed peacekeeper. Fine. Pick one. And make it cost more. 2 cards left over there. Might be interested in stripping. Yeah, maybe. Because stripping means that I can counter the Seasoned Dungeoneer the next turn. And but then if they name strip mine, then it just means that there's an uncountable Seasoned Dungeoneer, right? And there's nothing we can do about that. They name Oath of Druids, okay. Which is probably a decent name. I'm gonna play a Wasteland. They didn't reveal a Chancellor. Do I want to strip or do I want to chill? I think I want to strip. So I want this game to go on longer. And Wasteland's pretty good at doing that. I know that means I'm a turn away from my stock up. But it means that I can counter this human spell here. Oh, but this is such a shit human spell. Well, I'm still going to counter it and take 3. Because I'm then going to strip this Ancient Tomb, I think. They've got 1 card in hand, and then we've got to come up with a plan against an Anointed Peacekeeper. Okay, they've got no lands. We've got a Mox Pearl. They've got 3/3. We've got a slow stock up. I'm going to be at 10 by the time I get this stock up on the stack. And they'll be taking chunks of 4 thereafter. I lied. I'm casting stock up right now. Thank you. Oath green source? Or just Oath, right? No, just nothing. So let's take stock up. Island. And then we can stock up again. Whilst at 10. So Sun Blessed thing. Clarion Conqueror ending the game immediately. Wow. We draw Oath of Druids, but it's a turn too late. Brutal. Do I have answers to white creatures in this deck? I don't, right? My planeswalkers don't activate. Good shit. We play Lorenville, not Sync. I mean, conceding and then going looking for your answers is not the play, let me tell you. So I want these. I want the abrades. I don't think I want the rods. I don't think I want the needle either. The Pyroblasts have already gone. The Vexing Bauble on the plays can be very tasty. The negations can go there just bad. And let's ship this. Yeah. That was interesting. I felt pretty in hand once I drew that ruby, and then I just fucking died. But hey ho, so it goes. Okay, game 2. Mono white. A quicker braid into a Minskin Boo. Could that work? Could that be what the doctor ordered? I'm willing to find out. Opponent's on 7, no Chancellor. So we can just play Tropical Island, Mox Ruby, and pass. We can kill that card. Do I want to kill a Chrome Mox? I don't think so. Mox Ruby's fine. Black Lotus is annoying. Ancient Tomb. Containment Priest is fine. This looks like it's going to be a Seasoned Dungeoneer to follow up, which is less interesting to me. Another Containment Priest, sure. Okay, well, we'll start making our way through the Containment Priest on end step anyway. I am just going to kill them with Minskin Boo anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I will top the Force of Will against Better Judgment. It is a blue card for the other Force of Will. We've got to survive this turn. This could just be plain Seasoned Dungeoneer, which would be sad. Looks like it's just death to the opponent. Yes, confirmed. Fabulous news. So we'll play Besagio. I don't want them having 1/1s to attack my Minskin Boo with. We'll cast Minskin Boo. And they will die in short order. Very nice. Nice Containment Priest. Okay. Happy with the way that's gone. Likely to trade this Boo for 4 damage and 4 cards, though. In a moment. Archon of Emeria. Do I care? Maybe. Or am I just going to trade this Minskin Boo for 7 damage to your face? So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to draw 4 cards. I can then still die. No, I don't want another replacement. I think I'll just 7 you. And then I'll 9 you, or 10 you next turn, whatever it is. If they don't have an answer to the Boo, then they're in trouble. Maybe the Force of Will was actual nonsense. Another Archon of Emeria. Containment Priest comes in at Minskin Boo. No, it doesn't. It's got to, right? Otherwise you just get absolutely wrecked by 7 cards. Opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Are we happy with how our deck's set up? Do I want negations on the draw? Do I want rods on the draw? I think I just want this hand as it is. This deck as it is looks nice and pretty. We've got Oath of Druids, Time Walk, Force of Will, the Braid. That's all the cards. I'm pretty happy with this as a hand because we can kill the priest, make an oath happen. We're not very fast. We may have to pitch to protect prior to anything happening. 3 games, no Chancellor. Mox Ruby. And nothing else. Strip mine, okay, interesting. And no Void Mirror. So, Anointed Peacekeeper or Archon of Emeria seem to be the order of the day. I'm going to play a Scalding Tarn because there's a chance we can get them to tap their Strip Mine this turn. And let's see what they come with. They've got the Cavern of Souls, which is really annoying. They name human, which makes it more likely to be a peacekeeper. And it is a peacekeeper. So we'll ancestral ourselves. They've played a land. We'll get a volcanic. And we find an Oko in a wasteland. No Moxen there. I assume they're forced into saying Oath of Druids. And I might just time walk into Oko, though. They name Oath of Druids. I draw a Mindbreak trap. So I can time walk. Discard Forbidden Orchard. Create a Volcanic Island. Play an Oko. And then create a food. So I've got Force of Will if they don't play humans. I've got a Braid if they do. I guess the way I've played, discarding this Orchard instead of something else, means this Strip Mine's really powerful. I've played into that situation. I have resolved an Oko. I can beat a dragon. They can't produce white for a dragon. They do have more uncounterable spells, and it's a seasoned bloke. Okay. Seasoned bloke is in. They get basic planes. They hit me for 3. No, they're going after Oko. They draw a Cavern of Souls. And then they have to strip this, right? So I then need to draw a red source. A green source, sorry. And I do. So I can elk this. Play Oath of Druids. And now I've got a Braid and Force of Will for Containment Priest stacks. I'll take a decent chunk of damage here, but then I think Atraxa is going to heal everything after that. Because I can elk again with Oko. They do forge up, and they probably forge onto the Dungeoneer because it's the big damage output. Time Walk's already gone. But the Dungeoneer is exactly what we're elking. We are elking. Then they come for 8 damage, putting me down to 11 or killing Oko. Also, Oko can't elk this anymore. So they put me to 16. They draw a Wasteland. So they're holding Cavern of Souls Wasteland, 5 cards. They are going to go after my green sources. I should be able to clear stuff up with a Braid. With some effectiveness. We beat a Containment Priest with a Braid. We don't beat 2 because we know they've got the second Cavern. They can't deploy both Wastelands to get me off both red sources. And it's just whether they can get through this season Dungeoneer. So Cavern of Souls names Archon. Archon of Emeria, tapping the human land. It's fine. And that's all of their spells for the turn, so we know that we're resolving this trigger. I'm taking 10 off of Seasoned Dungeoneer next turn. I hit an Atraxa, as expected. And then I get a bunch of cards. So Oko seems good. Stock Up seems good. Is Oko good or is Ren and 6 better? Because they're holding another Wasteland. I think Oko's better. And then I'll take a Force of Will. And they've just conceded the match. Well, okay then. They can't beat the Atraxa once it's in play. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take out of that stack. But opponents had enough. So that's very nice. We go 3 and 2 with Oath of Druids. Definitely some spots there, right, where you can see I'm not au fait with how to play Oath in certain matchups. But Minsk and Boo came up in game 2. Ren and 6 was cool in some games. Narset never came up. The Oaths were good. The Vexing Bauble made me play badly. All in all, fabulous stuff. I should have definitely bought in the rods for frickin' Raker shops. That was so stupid. I've seen in the past these decks play like a rending volley or something in the sideboard. It gives you better mono white game. Yeah. The original pilot has said no thank you, I just want the Abrades. I guess they still kill Containment Priestess and Cage is all the same. And then we had that game where I messed up my sequencing on my Wasteland, which meant my Ancient Grudge was just a single shatter, which isn't quite good enough. Anyway, that was an Oath of Druids League for a bit of fun, bit of change. And I will see you Thursday for some Bazaar of Baghdad. Right. See you later.